Cop. Hello?
Dr. Norman, hold on. We got to do an intro first. Yeah, Dr. Norman.
Okay.
Hold on. We got to do an intro first.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Well, I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated. They're analysts. They don't know preferred stock from livestock, all right? The new law of evolution in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Wednesday night, March the 21st, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have QT Cal.
Hi, STT.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fantastic tonight. Fantastic.
Great.
Thank you for asking. Also, joining me on the program tonight, I have Mr. Cop.
Hey, what's going on, STT? And QT, I am doing fantabulous, if that's a word.
Fantabulous. That's my word. She used my word.
She normally does, but she said okay, so I had to come over the top a little bit.
There we go.
There you go.
All right. Also joining us on the program tonight, I have Stock Sumo.
Hey, what's happening, crew? I'm doing extraordinary tonight.
Doing extraordinary.
Hey, fantabulous is one of my words, too. I like to use that one, but tonight I went for extraordinary.
That is strange, to say the least. All right. Let's move on with the show because we have a much anticipated CEO interview to conduct tonight. I want to remind all the listeners to check out the Stock Traders Talk Radio morning show kicking off at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, without further ado, let's get into the interview with Mr. Kopp. Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, STT. We're here with Dr. Paul Norman, the president and new CEO of Everybody's Phone Company, stock ticker EVPH. Dr. Norman has a diverse background and history in the computer and specialty device industry. He's been a consultant for systems repair, maintenance, and development with a doctorate in the information technology field. His focus is concentrated on the integration and repair of the Android and iPhone technologies that drive cell phones, but also carries over into the table marketplace. In this interview, I'd like to cover your expansion into the Android and the iPhone, the iPad, the tablet markets, the company's future expansion into the devices such as medical technology, hearing devices, and high-resolution camera and equipment devices. Welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio, Dr. Norman.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
We're doing great. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us. And how about if we just get started and let the audience know what your company does?
Okay, sure. It's first, thank everybody for having me. I've been real excited about the prospect of visiting with you guys. But just kind of give you a little bit of history on us. Our company has been involved exclusively in the BlackBerry market for years. We were the first and only repair facility for doing out-of-warranty repairs on BlackBerry when BlackBerry came out in 1999. Our company has seen revenues and close to $1 million just in doing the repairs. We've been a little different than most repair facilities in that we actually have focused on the government, the enterprise, and corporate side of the business. We like repairing phones one at a time, but when you bring in the corporate or the enterprise business, we're able to do 100 phones at a time, which greatly helps with profitability because it takes the same amount of time to process the actual paperwork of 100 phones that it does for one. So it cuts down greatly on the administrative costs, which helps us, of course, achieve real high revenues. As research in motion, with their BlackBerry product, as the popularity declined, so did our business. And so, as our market changed, where our clients were leaving BlackBerry, going to the more advanced Android and iPhone markets and devices, we've had to make the change too. And it's hadn't been a real painful one because it's kind of one of those things that you open them up and they're all alike on the inside. So making the transition to devices has been real easy. But what's been difficult is acquiring the parts that we needed to do it, but we've got everything settled now, so we've got a lot of very excited customers because they've been chomping at the bits begging us. It's going, hey, when can you get into this? We've got devices that are stacking up. We'd love to get these over to you. So we've made that change, and so we're excited, and we've got a lot of excited clients, and so we're ready to move forward and make this thing happen.
Now, is that, just out of curiosity, I want to dive a little deeper into that. Is that an easy transition? I mean, from an equipment standpoint, and the stuff that I would assume that you have a full arsenal of equipment to be able to do these type of things.
Well, that's actually a real good observation. For us, it was a real easy transition because our facility is what's referred to as a Level 3 electronics repair facility, and in layman terms, what that means is that our facility can do any level of work imaginable to a phone. It's not just a matter of changing out a housing or a screen or even more complicated repair that would require like a soldering iron to do, like, say, a broken data port. But our facility being Level 3 means we can actually get down into the board level where we can actually remove chips and transfer information. There's a lot of things that we can do that there's just a handful of repair facilities in the United States, much less even the world. When you look at the world, there's not a lot of Level 3 repair facilities, but we are one of the very few that do it. And so it really shows us, or compared to everybody else, it really differentiates us from everybody else. But because we have that level of expertise, when it comes down to it, it doesn't matter if it's a cell phone, if it's a tablet, if it's a hearing aid, if it's electronic and it uses batteries and you can hold it in your hand, chances are the way that the guts of these things, they're pretty much identical. So the equipment that we use to do the repairs is very similar. So it was a real easy transition to us. Just had to acquire a few little items, but it was stuff that you would never think. I mean, like for instance, one of the things we had to add was suction cups. So because the iPhones, some of the older models actually require a suction cup to pull the screen out. It was something we've never used on a BlackBerry. So those as technical as they may sound, they weren't that hard to get. So it wasn't so bad.
Amazing. How about let's go into your board of directors and your team. Let's discuss them for a little bit.
Okay. Well, right now we're still the board of directors is still being finalized. We're going after the cream of the crop. We're going after the best of the best. We want the most talented individuals that we can possibly find, of the highest caliber and quality. And we're looking for people that have unquestionable integrity and have great accolades that they can bring with them, because when you're trying to build something great, you need great people to do it. So that's still kind of, I guess, in the mix. We've got some incredible talks going on right now, and I don't think it's going to be very much longer before we have it all sewn up. But I think when you see the end result, you're going to be pretty impressed.
Well, I mean, I would assume as well that if you're one of a very few facilities that you have in the world like that, people will know who you are and basically what you're able to do.
Exactly.
Is that accurate?
And we're after people that have been there and done it, that know what we do and have an understanding. I'm not going to go find a real estate developer to help us out. I want somebody that, when you say their name, if you know anything about the electronics industry, you go, yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Oh, wow. How about let me change gears on you here a little bit. Now I kind of want to go into your business objectives. I mean, what's your strategic direction right now?
Well, what we're trying to do is, we're continuing on the path to provide the best service for our clients. But, as new items come out, we're having to change very rapidly to, acquire the parts, and, which is, of course, the hardest part of this business for us is actually the acquisition of the parts and putting together partnerships. But, our strategic direction is we've got a client list that companies would absolutely die to have. We have a client list of approximately 30,000 enterprise, government, corporate clients that we've done business with over the years. And these aren't prospects. These are people we've actually done business with. And because of the rapid market change going from BlackBerry to iPhone and Android, a lot of those clients have, basically become dormant. So, our strategic direction is, now that we've got everything together, we've got the new site, we've got the parts, we've got, the capabilities, we are ready to rock and roll. The first things first is that we've got to reestablish those relationships, because our corporate partnerships is what we live and die by. So, that's our main thing that we do. We offer, a level of technology that no one's ever been able to touch. For instance, when it comes to liquid damage on a phone, we are the only company in the world that I know of, and you can look high and low and see if you can find it, because I still haven't found anybody that does it. But we are the only company in the world that will not only repair water damage, which there are a few companies that will do that, but we actually warranty it. And we don't just warranty it for a day or a week. We actually warranty it for 3 months. And there's not one other company in the world that does that. And the reason we do that is because we have, like I said, so much technology at our disposal and so much expertise that we've got some processes that are proprietary to our company, and we're able to do those for the clients, and we're able to, offer a repair that no one else can do. So it's been, pretty exciting on that. But, still moving forward, with our changing our devices, one thing we've always done from the very beginning is we've always offered a 24-hour turnaround on repairs. And that's something we've kind of gotten away from, but now we've got everything back on track. So we're back, doing the 24-hour turnaround. We were the first company in the world to offer if we don't fix it, you don't pay for it policy, so that if we bring in a device and we attempt to repair and we're not able to repair that device, the customer doesn't owe us a penny. And so we want things to continue to be a no-risk opportunity with us, that when you send us a device, that we're not going to charge you a diagnostic fee. We're one of the very few companies in the world that don't do that. But we know that, most people, when they send us a phone, they're going to want it fixed when they know that, hey, this is an opportunity to fix this device at a fraction of the cost. So, we're going to continue, doing that. We're doing it in a much broader spectrum. Instead of being BlackBerry, we're going to be offering that 24-hour turnaround, offering the free diagnostics, on the iPhones, the Androids, tablets, gaming systems, cameras, you name it. I mean, you name it, we're going to be doing it. Right now we're making a very, very hard push into the medical industry. We've had some very large medical manufacturers, and these are people that, if I was at liberty to say the names, you go, oh, yeah, I know who they are, that have come after us. We had gone to CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, just a few months ago, and visited with a few manufacturers, and we've had manufacturers we didn't even talk to that have actually called us since, because they all talk. It's a very tight-knit group. And these medical companies are saying, you know what, there's nothing that exists in our industry like what exists in the cell phone industry. You know, we were the first company in the world to offer out-of-warranty cell phone repair. And so now we're looking like we're going to be the first company in the world to offer out-of-warranty medical device repair. And, you know, these aren't critical devices. These are like thermometers, blood pressure monitors, glucose monitors, things like that, you know, things that, you know, aren't going to be a high risk to the company to repair. You know, if one of the things we don't want to do is do like defibrillators, because if something were to fail, you know, that would put the company at risk, and we don't want to do that to the company or to the stockholders, you know, put ourselves in that position. But these are going to be low-risk devices that we can repair. But again, it's at a fraction of the cost. You know, what you'll find out, it doesn't matter if it's a phone, if it's a tablet, if it's a medical device. Typically, the rule of thumb is that these repairs happen at about 20 to 25% of the retail cost. So strategically moving forward, that's what we're pushing for, is doing a rapid expansion into many devices. You know, you can catch, you know, a lot more water, you know, with a 5-gallon bucket than you can with a thimble. So that's what we're doing, is we're kind of getting rid of the thimble, which is BlackBerry, getting our 5-gallon bucket, and which is the whole the whole electronics industry as a whole. And that's what we're going after. And, you know, we're, you know, focusing very, very hard on trying to find what are the most profitable lines to actually, you know, because we don't want to go into something, an industry that, you know, we could do the repairs, but the parts are going to be so expensive that we're not really going to make any money. Our focus here, you know, is, you know, we love making friends, but we like making money a whole lot more. And so that's what we're going to focus on, is continue to identify high profit margin repairs and high profit margin parts, because we don't just do repairs, we actually sell these parts as well. So, you know, in a lot of cases, we are going to be the only place in the world that will offer some of these parts. You know, for instance, let's take a Sony PSP, which is a little PlayStation, handheld PlayStation, very, very popular item. There's nobody anywhere. You can go on the internet right now and try to find someone that offers a housing change-out. Can't find it. We're going to do that. We're also going to be offering the parts. So it's a lot of exciting things to come.
It's the thing I find, like, I mean, all of it's very interesting, is I think the timing that you actually have is pretty fortuitous. And what I mean by that is you're right now, when you go get, you know, I recently got an iPhone 4S, and it's like you got to take a small loan out to get some of these phones now. And the next one's getting ready to come out, and the next one, I envision, and I'm sure you probably do because you're marketing and forecasting based off your business plan, that you're talking some of these phones and certain devices are going to be well over $1,000. I mean, that's coming its way. I mean, they can pretty much run anything in your house. They're mini computers now at this stage. And, you know, the segment or the niche that you're going into, you don't really have any competitors, do you?
No, not at the scale how we handle things. I mean, our facility has the capability of handling 500 to 1,000 devices a day, and there's nobody that I know of that has that level of production capability. So,
where did this idea come from?
Little mom and pops that are. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I didn't hear what you said.
I was curious of, you know, how where did you come up with this idea? I mean, your timing's pretty impeccable. I'm just curious how you came up with it.
Well, originally we started, or how the idea came up is I owned a IT consulting firm that was one of the first BlackBerry resellers in the United States. We actually helped Research in Motion introduce BlackBerry into the United States. When BlackBerry first came out, it was a very technical item. Nothing out there. There was nothing out there like it, and it worked only with Microsoft Exchange, which is an email collaboration program that Microsoft makes. And so, to actually sell BlackBerry, you had to have Microsoft certified professionals on your team because of the implementation of it. It wasn't as simple as, you know, put this CD in your computer, you know, click next, and okay, and this thing's going to start working. It didn't work that way. It was very complicated. So we were tapped by Research in Motion to become one of the resellers, and we ended up being one of the first. I think we're actually the second reseller in the United States, but we quickly became and stayed the largest independent reseller of BlackBerry in the world for several years. What changed is when BlackBerry went away from just being a pager to a pager and a phone, then they started bringing the carriers in. Well, we had amassed a unbelievable client list at that point in just Houston, where if they were a Fortune 1000 and they were located in Houston, they were a client. And as you guys know, there's a lot of Fortune 1000s based out of here. But then, it kind of grew to Texas and then most of the United States, that all the Fortune 1000s were buying their BlackBerries from us. And we had one particular company that did oil field type stuff, that they were breaking phones left and right. And Research in Motion did not have a warranty program at that point, that, if you were to break, they had warranty where, if the device died, they would fix it. But what we do is out of warranty. And, that's probably actually something we ought to touch on real quick so people kind of understand a little better what we do. We do out-of-warranty repair, okay? And what that is if you go and you buy a brand-new phone and you walk out of the AT&T store, you go to get in the car, it's a windy day, the door hits your hand, you drop the phone on the ground, and boom, the lens shatters. You go walk in, you say, hey, this thing just broke. Can you give me another one? They go, no, that's not covered under the warranty. There's a clause in everybody's warranties. It doesn't matter, what it is. It doesn't matter if it's a phone or a tablet or a PC, anything electronic. Pretty much every manufacturer is pretty standard to have an abuse or neglect clause in that contract. And what that abuse and neglect clause says is if there's accidental damage that's caused by neglect or abuse, then that's not covered by the warranty. And so before we existed, the only option you had was to go buy another phone. And so like your particular phone, the iPhone 4S, if you walked back into AT&T and said, hey, I just dropped this and broke it, can you give me another one? They're going to go, no, but you can buy another one. And, oh, by the way, I know you paid $200 for it. Well, this time it's going to be $650 because the first time you had a contract, so we kind of bought the price of that phone down. But since you already have a contract, we can't do that again. It's going to be $650. And so that's where we play is in the out-of-warranty thing, or the out-of-warranty space. So it's the broken screens, the data ports that break, the liquid damage. It's anything accidental. It's the stuff that, happens and you look and you go, oh, man, I can't believe I just did that. That's where we come into play, And so,
you said that in a nice way.
Built the business by doing that.
If I was the guy that walked out and broke my phone, you said that in a very nice way. I think I would be, I'd probably be cussing a little bit when I came back.
Oh yeah. And you know what? The stories that I tell you, you wouldn't be able to breathe. You would be laughing so hysterically at some of the mishaps of others, but some of the stories would make you just want to cry. It's unbelievable because anything can happen to these phones. And, so anyway, I kind of back on track. Like I said, I just want to kind of touch on what we actually do because some people don't quite kind of grasp what out of warranty means. And so anyway, we had this this company that does oil field operations. They had a bunch of broken phones, and they didn't want to pay $500 a piece for new phones. And, they called me and like, Paul, what do we do? And I had found a company that was actually hired by AT&T to disassemble phones that were brought in on carrier returns. And what a carrier return is somebody bought the phone and didn't like it, and they brought it back to the store. Well, they can't sell that phone as new because it's been opened. So, but the phones are at least, less than 14 days old. So pretty much nowhere. Usually everything's perfect on them. But they were hired to disassemble those phones, sell the parts, but they had to destroy the motherboards. So we were able to get housings, we were able to get LCDs and all the small parts that we needed. And so the IT company, the consulting company, we started repairing the phones for our clients just out of necessity because these were great clients of ours. that were doing a lot of business with us, and we felt bad too because some of these phones were a week old, and being out in the oil field, they were breaking them left and right, and they were going to spend a fortune, upwards of $100,000 to get some of these phones fixed. And so we started offering them, we'll try to fix them, and we said we'll try. And we've realized, this is not so bad, so we ended up opening a repair division to that company. And in 2005, it had gotten so big that we decided to spin it off. And I basically left the IT company with that division and started what was called BB Repair Shop, which was BlackBerry Repair Shop. So that's how it all began, was because of people dropping phones and no way to fix them.
Amazing how that works. We've kind of touched a little bit on the actual the industry itself, and everyone talks about the phone industry because it's huge. Can you elaborate on what your marketing segment is regarding the industry itself?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I have said for years, and I've been waiting for this day, and when I say this day, I'm talking just in the last year, is I have always said I can't wait for the day that wireless data speeds will catch up with technology, and that the phones had so much capability of things that they could do. Your phone is a perfect example. You've got the 4S that has Siri, and you can talk to your phone, and your phone talks back to you. You can tell your phone to do something, and it does it. You can say, schedule this meeting for, March the 30th at 1 o'clock, and your phone does it. That is pretty out there. But it couldn't do that a few years ago, and it wasn't really the technology, because the technology was there, but the wireless speeds were not. And so I've always said, I cannot wait for wireless speeds to catch up with the technology. And it has finally done that. It's just happened just in the last, year, 6 months, that you've got these 4G speeds, which are as fast as DSL, as fast as your home internet. And you've got that in the palm of your hand. So it's been a very exciting experience to see that happening. But what's going to happen because of that is we're going to see an explosion of smartphones and tablets and all these wireless devices like you've never seen, because now there's things that can happen that couldn't happen before because, it just was too slow and there was just too much data that needed to be moved. Well, now that's possible. So you're going to start seeing things grow at a pace that no one has ever seen before. You're going to see the smartphone industry start doubling in size every year or more. You're going to see it go from, and I'm not just saying this out of speculation. There's, companies that are very, respected out there, Gartner, Nielsen, companies that do this for a living. They do this research that are saying, absolutely, these phones, the industry is going to double or it's going to quadruple in size in the next year or two. And it's because, the thing is, let's take a PC, for example. We don't go buy a computer because I want some box with a blinky light sitting on my desk. I buy that box because I need it to do something. And, whether it be desktop publishing or, writing letters or sending emails or surfing the Internet, I need it to do something. And the more it does, the more valuable that is to me. And the faster it does, it makes it even more valuable. And that's what's happening with the phones. The phones are following the same suit, that they're getting more capability. They're getting faster. They can do more, which makes them more valuable, which brings in market segments of people that was, said, I'll never have, a phone that does all of this and does all of that. I just want a regular phone. Well, now these people are realizing, what? I want a phone that I can get on the Internet because, I just saw you look up the address to this place or the phone number or whatever, and I want to be able to do that. So you're going to see an adoption of smartphones faster than any market segment that we've ever seen, and doesn't matter in what industry. We're going to see an explosion like no one's ever seen. So, you're right. We're in the right place at the right time because we're going to be there for that explosion, and it's happening right now. So as, the Google Android, phones and the Apple's, become more widespread, we're there for it. So the industry's gonna do things. Like I said, it's gonna be in the record books what we're gonna see happen. And the thing is with our industry, these are the lifelines to a lot of people. You've heard the term crackberry. Where a BlackBerry is so addictive that, when people would break their BlackBerry, if they'd lose their BlackBerry, they'd, have to start going to therapy and, do whatever they had to do to try to survive until they could get another phone. And, that's not going to change. We're going to still see that dependence on these items. So, that's one of the reasons our company offers the 24-hour turnaround, so that people don't have to go so long without, their device. But we're going to see more dependence on it. We're going to see more adoption. It just the sky's the limit. On what we're going to see.
I find it absolutely amazing. I was reading an article. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before, but it had to do with the changing scope of the phone industry, even becoming like 2 to 3 times more of a market segment as far as value, if you will, due to data information.
Mm-hmm.
You get these packages from 10 gigabytes to 50 gigabytes and up, and because of movies and video,
yep.
and the way the world's going now, you're getting these packages. So essentially, a phone bill of $500 is not out of the question here really soon for a lot of people, and because that's what it's all about. It's all about data and information, and the items that devices that are going to be doing this are just going to be huge money. I really like where you're going and what you're doing. I kind of want to dive into your business plan a little bit. Let's kind of go there. Where are you at as far as that's concerned?
Well, if you took a snapshot of us right now, I would say that we are in reorganization. We're attempting and moving forward in a undertaking that no one has ever done before, and so I would say snapshot. I would say reorganization. We know the industry. We know the marketplace. We're having to make some very abrupt and fast changes, and everything's falling in line with it. But everything's looking really good. We changed. We had just in the last few months, we didn't just change a website. We actually launched a new one. And we've had developers working on it, hundreds of hours a week, every week for the last couple of months. There's nothing like it out there, in the terms of content. We've revamped, the laboratory. One of the things that just fascinates me is industrial engineering, and I constantly look at processes and how we do things, and we've actually reorganized our lab to streamline processes even more than we already do. But our customers are changing devices. We've gotten everything updated. Now, the word's starting to get out that we're doing it. So the customers are, starting to send them in. We're starting to see some brand new, iPhones and Androids come in from customers that we haven't heard from in a year or two. So we're starting to get everybody back. But, the business plan is to stay focused, do what, make sure that we're making smart decisions on our inventory, that we're buying what's going to sell, because nobody wants to run a museum. We're not buying stuff to hold on to it, we're buying it to sell it. So make sure that we're doing some smart buying, and making sure that we've got the right people in place to make this thing a success. Make sure that we've got the technicians that have the skill level that we're looking for, that we've got the back office people that can handle the load, and that we've got the talent to manage all of that, to make sure that this thing just flows just like water, and that's what we're after.
Now, do you think with this, with your past history and up till now, based off of the having to make that shift from the BlackBerry to the Android to the iPhone, that had to take a lot of flexibility to do that. Do you think that's going to be a huge asset for you in the future? Meaning you're going to be more dynamic, more flexible as new phones or new things come out. I mean, is that accurate?
Absolutely. Anybody that knows me, first everybody calls me the mad scientist because I'm always looking to innovate. But, a slogan that I've used for years, and I just live and die by this, is innovate or die. And I truly believe it. The people that work with me believe it. It's almost the company motto, that it's innovate or die, that if we don't continue to innovate, that we don't grow with the market, if we don't change with our clients, as their needs change, we need to be able to accommodate those. If we don't do that, we're not going to be successful. So it's not just that we're trying to change as times change. We're actually now kind of even doing more research, and we've actually, picked up some researchers to help us with this, that we're actually trying to now predict where things are going so that not only, when the things change that we can change with it, but we actually want to have everything in place that, so when that new iPhone comes out, we've already been able to retool for it. We've already, developed all the repairs for it. So the day that it hits, it comes out on the market, if somebody breaks it that day, we've already got parts. We say, you know what, go ahead and send it. You don't have to wait a month or two for us to figure this out. We're already there. And so, that's what we're looking to do right now.
Now, what are your short-term goals?
Well, short-term goals, I'll get it out. Short-term goals is reconnecting with some old customers. We've, and letting them know, hey, we're back on the map. We're doing what you want us to do. Because, like I said, we kind of lost touch with that. As well as, continuing to widen our breadth of expertise and, bring in, different industries and, just do what is going to be profitable now. Our goal now and has always been is to run under our own steam. And, the more we can accommodate our customers, the more that we can do that. But, one of the other things we're looking at doing is kind of working a little closer with our customers. We've had a few reach out and say, you know what, things are changing so quickly, we can't handle this. We can't really grasp what we need for our business. And, my backgrounds of expertise is in the wireless as well as in the networking areas. And there's not a lot of people that have that. And I've got me and a core group of individuals that share the same background. But, we've got some customers looking towards us to actually help them develop a plan for them that they can adopt devices that can actually do something for them. Everybody's gone way beyond just reading email. When you look at the enterprise world or the government world, they don't want to just read emails anymore. They want these things to interface in with their line of business applications, be it a CRM or customer relationship database or an ERP like an accounting system or something like that. That the CEO wants to look at the sales for the day, that he can actually just log in using his phone. He can actually log into their back-end systems and run reports. They're looking for the integration, but they've got to have the right devices to do it. So, that's one of the things that we're also looking, to do short term is start working with our clients and help them build a strategy and, of course, reinforce our relationship with them. But that strategy helps them long term in their adoption of phones. It's just things are changing so fast, they really need help. And it's something we're there to do to help them.
Sure, makes sense. Earlier you talked about your network and your client base over the years. I'm real curious to kind of dive into any strategic partners that you have. Well,
we unfortunately we carry a lot of NDAs with our corporate clients. So, at this point, I couldn't really say without express permission with some of them. I mean, believe me, I could run down them, and they're all a lot of them are household names. so everybody knows who we actually do business with, and it's like I said, at the beginning of the call, it's pretty impressive. But going forward, in the immediate, time frame, our new partner in this venture is Everybody's Phone Company. We needed somebody that we could partner with that really brought a lot to the table. And I'm not saying that I'm ADD, but I go in a lot of different directions, all at the same time. I've got, lots of ideas that are coming up, and if I don't act on those ideas, then the company suffers. But in becoming a public company, the company, we were very aware, right up front that the company was going to suffer if we didn't have somebody watching the details. So in doing this partnership with Everybody's Phone Company, they've got a group of individuals that are just bar none when it comes to crossing the T's and dotting the I's. They know what it is to be a public company, how, all the little details of, the ups and the downs and how to do the bookkeeping, and they just truly understand every little bit of being a public company. And, my biggest fear, is we were moving so fast, I didn't want the train to come off the tracks. And so, we looked high and low. We found this company, and it was just a match made in heaven. So, that is an amazing strategic partnership for us as far as I'm concerned. But these guys are going to make sure that, that we stay in compliance, that the operations function the way that they need to, and that, the shareholders are protected, at all costs. So I'm just real excited with that partnership.
Excellent. I guess I'm going to keep prodding with that client list, and hopefully later in the interview I'll be able to get there. But I understand completely. How about the 1 to 5 year, a little longer term goals? And I understand with the technology and electronics shifts so much in 5 years is like an eternity. But where do you see yourself as a company?
Well, I see ourselves not only doing the repairs, but actually developing the devices. We're lucky enough to have insight that a lot of companies don't seem to have. It's not hard to fall off the map with the way that things are innovating. And I mean, Research in Motion is a perfect example. You don't assume what your client needs. You actually listen. And, we've got the front row seat right now to, hospital systems, to government organizations, to Enterprise America, to corporate America. We've got the front seat right now because we're talking to the people that make the decisions, that see what their users need, and we know where things are actually missing. So what I see long term is us actually getting into device development. So either it being at some level, maybe we're consulting with a manufacturer, maybe we're bringing out our own device, or maybe it's that we're actually open an application development team that we're developing iPhone or Android apps to help these organizations or individuals. I mean, everybody's got a need, whether it's, keeping, your golf score, or if it's, checking up on the status of a patient. Everybody's got a need. But, actually listening and helping develop those applications to try to go to a wider market. So, I see big things, in the future. So it's, whether or not we can do that in 1 to 5 years, I don't know, because we've got a mouthful, but that's what I'd really like to see happen.
Excellent. Now, I'm going to shift over to potential investors or shareholder type questions. What's your current shareholder, your share structure now?
Well, the share structure is, from what everybody's telling me, everybody's real happy with what we've done because we haven't increased any of the shares. see, I'm kind of looking here at just some numbers because liars figure and figures don't lie, right? So
exactly.
Right now we've got we're authorized at 1 billion shares. We've got the outstanding shares is 315,260,695. And the float then comes in at 340,695. There's about 175 shareholders on record, from what I understand. But we adopted everybody's phone company structure, their structure, because it just made sense. We're not going to do a split. There's no reverse that's going to be a part of this merger. It was agreed in writing between the two companies that if either one of the parties, don't feel that this merger is in their best interest, and that we, so down the road, if we decide to spin off it, from each other, say, 6 months down the road, we decide this isn't what's best for us, then the shareholders that would be part of the company would actually get equal amounts in both companies, so that they would actually end up with stock in both companies. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 special. If something ever were to happen and we decided to split, all the shareholders would get a 2-for-1 special. Get shares in each company.
That's an interesting protective measure. I like that. Excellent. Now, how about your transfer agent? Who's your transfer agent? And are shareholders able to call?
Yeah. The transfer agent is old. I keep mispronouncing it. It's Monmouth, and they're a very they're a small but very highly respected firm out of New Jersey, and they've been doing this for a very long time. Prior to the show, though, I haven't actually had an opportunity to give them a call to find out if they're willing to field calls from investors. So I wouldn't, I guess, say, go ahead and call them, because I don't want to overwhelm them, especially since we've just kind of begun our relationship.
Understand, makes sense. Now, regarding your potential and actual revenues, where are you at with that?
Well, with the reorganization, things have been a little slow to get started. I would say right now, for this year, we're, with current revenues, we're looking at about $300,000. But as we get things spun up with, the iPhone and Androids and the tablets, and, these are things that can come to market very quick. We're able to get the parts for, gaming systems. Those things are stuff we're ready to do now. Going into, cameras and, medical devices, those are things we're working on, and those are things we're going to focus on once we get the revenue where I feel comfortable. But we've done $1 million in the past. I don't see that being a hard number to surpass in the very near future, especially when we're bringing so much to the table. It's just a matter of getting the word out so everybody knows, hey, we're open for business. Let's do this.
Now, when I've noticed you've mentioned a lot of different new technologies and those type of things. Have you done the forecasting models to predict where you could be from a marketplace perspective on some of those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And without giving out, numbers that could get me in trouble, I would just say if you look at our market now, we're serving 5% of our actual market that we're going to be serving in just a month or two. So our market looks like it's going to grow between 90 to 95%. I don't know what the best way to explain that would be. Yeah, so basically we're doing 5% of the total market, and so we're going to be doing 100% here in just about a month or two.
Oh, wow.
It's going from we're going from a laser beam to a shotgun blast here real soon.
So when I ask about the potential revenue streams, I understand. So when I ask about the potential revenue streams, you're venturing off into a new area. Quite frankly, you probably don't know how much.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing things that, we're going to do things that no one's ever done before. So it's kind of hard to say, here's where we're going to be exactly right on the number. All we know is that the market is huge; it's untouched. There's 300 million Americans that every one of them have the ability to do business with. So, think about it. Do you yourself have a drawer at home that has electronic devices in it that are broken?
I do.
Everybody does.
I do.
Yeah, everybody does. Think about it. Everybody does. Well, why are we saving those things? Because one day we all hope to get them fixed so we can use them again. Everybody in this country has that. And, when you look at, like our core business is not just individuals. Of course, we love doing business with individuals. But, when you start looking at companies, well, they've got real big drawers, that are filled with thousands of devices. And, depending on what they are. But the thing is, before it was, is there a BlackBerry in that drawer? Okay, if there is, why don't you send that to us and we'll get that fixed for you. Now it's what's in the drawer. Send it all to us. We'll get it all fixed for you. So, we're not able to just take that one device out of the drawer. We're ready. Just send me the whole drawer now.
Wow, amazing. Just to give you a heads up there, Mr. Norman, we have about 7 more minutes, but I know earlier that you mentioned about your website. What is your website?
The new website is like as in electronic, repairworld.com.
All right, excellent. Now, a question that I really like asking is if you were able to give a shareholder a 5-minute elevator speech of some form, what would it be?
You're going to put me on the spot.
I'm still trying.
That's a good one. I would just basically, if to explain what our company does, our company offers everybody, everybody, doesn't matter, where they are, anywhere in the world, they can send stuff to us because that happens now. We do a lot of business internationally. But, we offer the ability to repair, either fix or repair any electronic device, being, communication devices, cameras, whatever. We offer the ability to fix those devices for a fraction of the cost of buying a new one. So, and we do it in a way that you don't miss it. We offer a 24-hour turnaround. If you want to send it to us and let us look at it, we're not going to charge you a penny. It's a no-risk solution. All you got to do is, if you're willing to gamble the shipping fee to get it to me, I'm willing to gamble my time that I bet I can fix it. And, we're going to be able to do that for you for a fraction of the cost. From an investor point of view, it's a very high-margin business. It's a high-volume business, which you don't really ever hear about. You either hear high margin or high profit, but you don't hear both. High volume or high profit, but you don't hear both. And this is actually one of those few exceptions where it is a high-volume business and it's a high-profit business, which is just, makes investors salivate. And that's what we're looking for is that kind of excitement in the people that we do business with, both our customers. Our customers cannot believe. I can't tell you how many times a day I'm told, you know what, I'm so glad that I found you. I can't believe that you're actually in business. Why didn't I hear about you before? It's we offer, high quality product that's done right. It's done fast, and it helps everybody's pocketbook. The economy, sucks right now. Everybody's looking to save a little bit of money, and if you don't have to, spend a bunch of money, why do it? Nobody should. I think the carriers all have enough money. They don't need it. You're not gonna, if you're not a stockholder of them, that you buying another phone from them is not going to help you one bit. So let's why don't you just save that money and put it in your pocket, put it towards your kid's college fund, or use it for something useful, and you get your devices fixed for a low cost. For those that are wanting to help the environment, this also helps the landfills. It's a great green initiative, and that's one of the things we've been working with a lot of clients is their green initiatives. They have to recycle or try to keep a certain amount of their items in action now. That they've got to not throw away everything, and so we're able to help them with that green initiative. So I guess as an elevator speech, it's probably a lot shorter. It's just doesn't matter what it is. If you can hold it in your hand and it uses batteries, we can fix it for the fraction of the cost of replacing it. I guess it's probably more of a 10-second elevator speech than a 5-minute one.
No. Believe it or not, that's great. Yeah, I mean, the thing that's strange about this interview is I have about 10 questions that I had that I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask you about dividends, further acquisitions, and certain directions, because I mean this is some fascinating stuff, and quite frankly, it's an hour is not long enough. So what I'd like to do is I'd have to check the schedule, but I believe my next opening that I had would be Sunday night, potentially sometime next week. What do you think about coming on the show for another hour and diving into all these other areas that I was anticipating doing, we just never got to?
Sure. I'd love to. It'd be an honor.
Well, let's do that, and we'll end the interview here, and it's great stuff, and I'm sure your shareholders and potential investors and this. I mean, there's a lot to this. This isn't like simplistic stuff when it talks about you venturing off into. We haven't even scratched the surface. Yeah, sure. We haven't even scratched the surface. I've got so much other stuff going on it'd make your head spin. I'm ready for that. So what we'll do, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to.
Mr. Cobb, I don't normally interrupt your interviews. I have like 100 questions myself, so that'd be great if you can come back on.
STT, do you know what the schedule looks like for Sunday?
Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can make it, we can book that, and I'll schedule a 2-hour show for that night.
What we'll do, Dr. Norman, is we'll get with your staff and we'll make sure that we'll work that out, something that's convenient for your time. I know you're busy in a lot of different stuff, but let's do that, and we'll call this interview here. And I appreciate you coming on the show, but I'm not going to say goodbye to you because we're going to bring you on again, and we'll go from there. And I know STT has to do a little disclaimer here in the last 2 minutes of the show, and that's the route we'll go. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Likewise.
All right, STT, take it away.
All righty, sir. Very well done, by the way. I wish I would have known. I would have extended the show. Somebody should have said something to me. Anyway, like I said, I do have a few questions myself for that interview, so we'll see what we can get done as far as Sunday or Monday next week. All right, you've been listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. Don't forget to catch the morning show, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Stock Sumo, Sifakia, and Haas. We wish everybody out there in the listening audience the best with all your trades, and may your portfolio always be green. This is STT Radio, and we are out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.